What's up YouTube? This is your average Joe back with another average video. I realize it's been a while. I'm in school, I'm working, and I have the cutest one-year-old in the world that likes to take up most of my free time. So, in a good way, right? I love her to death. Anyway, today's video is about a phone that's been out for more than 2 years. This is the LG Nexus 5, the original. I think if you're not wanting to spend $700-800 on a new phone, this is a very valid option. If you've only got, I don't know, $100-150 to spend, this definitely could be the phone for you. So as far as build goes, this is a very light phone. It's very light in the hand. The back is made of completely plastic. Really, all the phone is made of plastic, and the back is a soft matte kind of a finish. It's nice. It's grippy. You're not going to drop it very easily. So I like that about the phone. The speakers are on the speaker, I guess. There's only one of them. It's on the bottom of the phone. If my camera will focus here, you can see two speaker grills, maybe, kinda. Only one of them is a speaker. The other one is a disguised microphone. So you only have one speaker, and it is on the bottom, which isn't ideal. But for playing games or watching a YouTube video when you forget your headphones, it works. All right, let's talk specs. This phone has a 5-inch 1080p display, which again is perfect for one-handed use. It's not too big, it's not too small. It is an LCD. I'm not a huge fan of LCDs, but I have maybe just been spoiled by the deep blacks and the sharp colors of AMOLED screens. But for an LCD, it's a good screen. It gets bright enough in the sun, it gets dark enough at night. I don't really have any complaints about it, other than, you know, it's an LCD. So this phone comes in either 16 or 32 gigabytes of internal storage with no option to expand via micro SD card slot. There's no slot. The only thing you can pop out is the SIM card. Nothing else. No other way to expand your storage. In my opinion, 16 gigabytes is not enough these days. It's just not, especially after the Android system takes up 4 or 5 gigabytes of that. You're left with only 10 or 11 gigabytes for apps and movies and music and photos, anything else you want to put on here. That's just not enough. 32, that's a good base amount, I feel like. This is the 32 gigabyte version, and I haven't had any problems, you know, with that space filling up too fast or not being enough. I guess I don't store a ton of stuff on my phones, but yeah, there's that. It has 2 gigabytes of RAM, which is pretty average these days. Nothing too amazing, but enough to get the job done. It packs a Qualcomm Snapdragon 800, which still performs surprisingly well for its age. Nothing to complain about there. So this phone has an Adreno 330 GPU, which has been and still continues to be this phone's biggest weakness. If you want to play any graphics hungry games, this phone just does not perform well. It can handle a little hill climb racing. I'll show you a little bit of that. It works just fine. But if you want to play anything like Goat Simulator here, you can start to see the animation get kind of choppy. It doesn't load the whole world, I guess, at the same time. You can kind of see it load as it goes. It glitches here and there. It doesn't have the power to render all of these 3D graphics. I'll demonstrate this with the 3D graphics test from Antutu. You can just see they're so choppy. It just does not have the power to render all these graphics. And the device gets really hot if you try to do anything graphics hungry. I can show that here in Ampere. After playing Hill Climb Racing, nothing really has changed. It's a pretty average temperature. But after only 4 or 5 minutes of playing Goat Simulator or Need for Speed, the temperature has jumped up to 105, 110 degrees. Really a lot hotter than it should be. So this phone has an 8 megapixel rear camera and then a 1.3 megapixel front-facing camera. I may have to take back what I said about the GPU being this phone's weakest point. These cameras just are not good at all. If you're just posting photos on Instagram or Snapchatting your friends, they're fine. But if you want to do anything more than that, if you want to print any pictures out or do anything that really is going to require a good camera, this phone is just not for you. It has a 2,300 milliamp hour battery, which isn't amazing, but it should get you through a day of use. If we go check the battery settings here, I actually charged this phone yesterday and then overnight left it unplugged, and you can see there how it kept the charge overnight. The doze setting in Android 6.0 is actually really good. The cell standby time is amazing. It was telling me, right now it's telling me it's going to get me, what, 3 days of use on the average. After I picked it up this morning and looked at it, it was telling me 10 days on idle. So the doze feature in Android 6 is actually really useful. If you set your phone down and don't pick it up for a few days, you're going to come back and you're still going to have, 75-80% battery left. So that's really nice. I appreciate that. Now let's talk software. This phone is running the very latest version of Android. If we go down to About Phone, we can see it's running Android 6.0.1. Latest and greatest from Android, latest security patch, Android Marshmallow. That is the biggest reason to buy a Nexus device. You get the updates straight from Google. You get them as soon as they come out. You don't have to wait for Samsung or LG or HTC to skin it, and put their ugly TouchWiz or whatever it is on top of Android before they release it to you. And also, you don't have to put up with TouchWiz. I had a Samsung Galaxy S4 back in the day, and I lasted about 3 months before I got so fed up with TouchWiz that I rooted it and put CyanogenMod on it, just so that I wouldn't have to deal with TouchWiz. I love stock Android. I love the feel of it. I really do not have any complaints. Well, I guess I have a few. I made a video about that. I'll link to it right here. But again, stock Android is always better than any skinned version of Android. I love it. Honestly, the only issue I have with Nexus devices, there are two issues, kind of the same thing. One, it doesn't support, or it doesn't have a microSD card slot. That wouldn't be so bad, but it also does not have USB OTG support. I can't plug my little, USB drive in here and have it just transfer the files. There is an app, it's called Nexus Media Importer. I finally caved and bought it, it's like $4. That basically fixes that problem. It lets you transfer files via OTG. I don't know why they don't just include that out of the box. I think that's kind of dumb. I don't know of any other Android phone, you guys might correct me on this, maybe there is one, but I haven't had any Android phone that doesn't support USB OTG out of the box. I don't think that would be too hard to include on an Android device. So if I were looking for a phone to buy today, would I buy the Nexus 5? If I only had $150 to spend, absolutely. There is no better phone for that price anywhere. I don't know, if I had a few $100s, I'd probably go with the latest version of this phone, the Nexus 5X. It has a fingerprint scanner on the back, and it has, updated specs and whatnot. So if you have a little bit more money, that's what I would go with. But if you only have $150, $200, this is definitely the phone that I would recommend that you buy. Thanks for watching, everybody. Make sure to like and subscribe. I will be coming out with more videos in the near future. I know I've been kind of on a break, but I do have some plans for some more videos coming up soon. And remember to stay average. It's the new awesome. I'll see you guys in the next one.